Alright, so let's talk about the power of problems. Like, we all hate problems, right? We all hate them. I fucking hate problems too, right? We all hate conflict. We all hate adversity. We all hate crises. But see, I'm gonna make sure this shit is fucking focused. I am not gonna make the mistake I made yesterday, the last time. But what people don't understand is that problems and crises is the only way for you to see what truly matters in life. It's the only way for you to see what you should be focusing on. It's the only way for you to see what has substance and what brings actual happiness to you. The world that we live in, we're constantly being fought over our attention. We distract ourselves through never-ending stimulation, and we're always distracting ourselves. There's an underlying unhappiness in every person's heart, for the most part, and it doesn't really show itself when we're distracted. It disguises itself with a masquerade of happiness and materialism. You know, like, you're unhappy, so what happens? You buy things, you make friends just to be happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is that because you're masquerading it as happiness through using external things, you really never get to see it for what it really is. And the only time you get to see it for what it really is when you're alone, and then when you're alone, you distract yourself even more. So the only way for you to actually see what's important is to lose the things that you value, apparently. Let's say that you derive your self-esteem based on your looks, based on the clothes you wear and the cars you drive. God forbid you lose your looks, inevitably. That's 1/3 of you. You lost 1/3 of your self-esteem. Then let's say you lose your car. You lose 2/3 of your self-esteem. Then let's say you lose your wealth thing, so you can't have nice clothes. You just lost all of your sources of self-esteem. So what's the natural progression? Naturally, the habit that you were in was what? Attaching to things. That's a habit. You know, that's a habit. But when you have no other option but to just accept it, which is to say, you lost everything. Circumstances happen. Catastrophes happen, and there's nothing you could do about it. What happens? You have no other choice but to go towards the things that really matter. The things that really bring happiness to you. For example, you lose a family member of death. I didn't lose a family member. I'm just saying, let's say you lose a family member. You were very consumed by getting likes on Facebook. You were very consumed by becoming famous, becoming popular. You were consumed by YouTube and all that sort of stuff, and then you lose someone who you love. What happens now? Now you lose motivation for all of those superficial things. You don't care who likes your statuses. You don't care how good you look. You really just care about you. What tends to happen is that you tend to gravitate towards the things that matter. You see, you lose your loved ones, and then what happens? You gravitate towards your loved ones for consolidation. You lose your business, and then suddenly you go within yourself. You notice that I'm so unhappy. Shit don't really matter as much. So where do you go? You know, that's when you see what really matters. And let me read to you a status that I wrote the other day. It says, actually it's 2 hours ago, only when shit goes wrong does one actually see and feel what really matters in life. Have everything in your life taken away from you, and whatever is most important to you at that moment is what really matters. Good things blind us from what's really important, because the good things in life are usually materialistic. If you get into an accident, you won't be thinking about who's doing what or who likes you. You'll be thinking of your family and of your health, which are the things that are most important. A lot of the things in life can be replaced, but the things that are free, your health, vitality, your mind, we take it for granted and devalue it simply because it's free and come prepackaged in this human, like a factory setting. So yeah, when shit goes wrong, that's when you open your eyes as to what really matters. And you'll notice this. Let's say you lose your health, your ability to walk. That's when you notice how much it really mattered to you. That's when you notice how ungrateful you were. That's how you notice how vain you were, how you weren't focusing on the things that really matter. And what's that? What's going on right now? We're always running from something. We're always running towards something. And that's A delusion because that thing that we're running towards can easily be obstructed and taken away from us in the flick of a switch. You may be working towards having a good body and that's your source of happiness because you promise to get that. You lose your legs and now what's next? What's driving you? What's important to you? What do you go to? What do you gravitate to? You're not going to have the vanity to gravitate to. So you have no other option but to focus on what really matters. You will never be happy unless you accept it. You will never be happy unless you accept the support from the people around you. All of the superficial friends, all of the superficialities fade away because you don't really care, because things that are important, because it's a crisis, you know. In order to unite a nation, I would say, in order to unite a nation, create a conflict. In order to unite a family, create a conflict to fight against. When families encounter problems, situations, circumstances, they grow together. They are able to put down their differences and become one unit. But the only way for them to reach that point is to actually get to the point where they need each other. To get to the point where the vanity, the materialistic in life doesn't help. And even better, it's not even there. For example, you could have fucking Hitler. You and Hitler could be on a ship and taken by aliens. And if you guys are in a world where you don't know the environment, you don't know the society, you know, like in another planet or whatnot, you guys are gonna be best of friends. It's true. I mean, there are so many enemies around you that you have no other choice but to unite. So as you can see, problems and enemies bring people closer together, but at the same time, could easily divide if you guys start blaming each other. Can easily divide if you guys lack empathy. Can easily divide if you, rather than going for within, you start looking for the outside for happiness. It's that fear of, I cannot do it on my own, and accepting your weaknesses and vulnerability that unites you to people and unites you to yourself. Why? When you know you're not strong enough, that's when you humble yourself to other people. When you know that in reality controlling life doesn't work, that's when you surrender to life and accept life as it is. But it's only through those circumstances that you're able to reach that point. It's only through reaching rock bottom that people grow out of addictions, grow out of bad relationships. It's only when you get that last straw that you say, that's it, when you're ready to change. But you can't really change unless things are nice, unless things are perfect. You have to have some problems. You have to lose things. You have to feel a loss in order to feel the need to improve on yourself. So that's why it's not a bad thing to consistently have problems. It's not a bad thing to create your own problems. It's not a bad thing to have challenges, because challenges, when used right, are more powerful than blessings. Challenges, when used right, is the best teacher in life. The problem is that most people are afraid of challenges. They're afraid to challenge themselves because what they've seen is it wrecks people. It literally cripples people if you don't take it the right way. Most people don't take it the right way because they associate massive pain and permanency to problems. They don't realize that just because it's night doesn't mean that tomorrow is not going to be any likeness. They see their problems as a permanent state of being, and that's a reflection of their state of consciousness. Consciousness is devoid of outcomes. Consciousness is just here. The ego, which you derive your sense of self from the accumulation of your past thoughts and interpretations, derives and lives by creating fear. It lives by creating an identity, separating itself from the environment and becoming one person. You see what I'm saying? Rather than you just being a random consciousness that happens to be embodying a body, you become a thing, a person. You see? So when you have those challenges, it's when you're able to see that you are not those things. Because when you lose the validation of who you are, which is to say, let's say you pride yourself in being a beautiful woman, when you lose that, you either have the option of resisting it, which is trying to get better looking, getting Botox, nothing wrong with that, I'm not judging you, or accept who you're not. Accept the loss and go inside yourself, not from a place of, I feel bad that I lost it, from a place of, who am I then? It's when you lose the things that you attach your sense of self to, is when you're able to realize who you are, not through finding yourself, but through losing yourself. Being okay with not knowing yourself and being at ease with it. You see, and this is why people don't grow. Not because they can't, but because they don't understand the power that comes with problems, challenges, and crises. Challenges hurt. Challenges hurt the soul. Challenges discourage you. Challenges makes you feel like the world is evil. But when done right, when you arm yourself with the right mentality, you put yourself around the right people, and that's even the most minimal part. But when you arm yourself with the right perception, and you begin to see life as a way to, and you begin to see challenges as a way to grow, things will come to you, and yeah, you are going to feel pain. Yeah, you are gonna fucking struggle. It's gonna fucking hurt. You're gonna want certainty. But you're gonna say to yourself, "This is time to grow." And that's a problem that people don't understand is a problem, which is not having problems. You have to have problems. If everything's perfect, you're going to remain in stagnation. It's kind of like a child who's being coddled by their parents and who are not allowed to feel pain, who are not allowed to have responsibilities because they don't believe in them. They become dependent, and when they grow up, they become responsible adults. But you have to be your own parent and allow yourself to feel pain, allow yourself to have challenges and overcome them, so that you can really see how powerful you are. You don't know how powerful you are until you find defeat. Once you defeat it, then you know your limits, and then you're able to take a step back, train, arm yourself with the right mentality, and then go back into the field of battle and adjust accordingly. Most people are afraid of that, and I understand it's not easy. It really, I try to make sure I don't come across perfect, because that's a horrible expectation to have. You know how people comment, "Oh, you teach spirituality, but you look at you saying this or talking back to people." Well, what a motherfucker, look, I'm not perfect. I really don't, like, that's why I try to tell people, look, motherfucker, look, I'm not perfect, okay? Don't even try to think about me that way. But that's the point, is embracing your imperfections, embracing your problems. And when problems come, realize that things pass, and pain is inevitable. You just gotta learn how to deal with it, you know? I go through pain, things happen in my life, but I don't try to be delusionally optimistic, but I try to be realistic. If I can't deal with the problem right now, why deal with it? Observe your mind. Observe your mind trying to fix things that you cannot fix. Observe your mind trying to resist life. Observe your mind trying to find happiness. And an ignorant person who knows he's ignorant is wiser than someone who doesn't know he's ignorant. That's what Buddha said. And that's pretty much it. You see, you may be coming to my channel for problems because you have problems, but guess what? Because of your problems, you were able to find a gem. Not because I'm a gem. I'm not a gem. I'm just someone who's open enough to be creative. And anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. So don't think just because I'm doing it, I'm special, No, like, I'm a normal guy with imperfections who acts needy sometimes, who try to hit girl up on Snapchat. Like, I try to do that. It's a normal thing, But you have to be okay with showing your weaknesses and showing that you struggle. Because people don't want to see that you're always on glory, you're always good, you're always happy. People don't want to see that. They're going to resent you. They want to see you cry sometimes. They want to see you lose. People will respect you more if you lose once in a while as opposed to winning all the time, because it shows your courage. It shows your ability to take risk. People relate to that. People relate to failure more than success. Okay? But yeah. Take care.